Yes, hello out there. How's everybody doing out there? Hey, hello, Smell the Cat. How are you? Thanks for coming. Oh, I'm doing fine. Thanks. And yourself? Hey, Gary, what's up? How are you, man? Thanks for show. Thanks for dropping by, man. Yes. Oh, okay, Gary. Okay, Gary. I know what you mean. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Um, oh, oh, thanks, Gary. Hope you're doing good too, man. Well. It's almost 10 o'clock here. It's 9:59. Going to be here for about an hour before I go to bed. Man, we're having some little warm weather. It's let's see, it's 69 degrees here in Southern California. Not like that. So, what can we talk about today? You know, uh, let's see, talk about the supernatural. Okay. Yesterday I I saw a story on YouTube about a truck driver down in Sonora, Mexico, state of Sonora, Mexico. His supervisor told him, "Hey, when you reach this certain point, and you see this big bridge, and if you see a cross, oh, oh yeah, yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Shelly. Yeah. Well, yes, a Tupac. Yes, yes. I knew there was something uh, uh, that was going on with that woman. They have, but when I came into the over at the drama community, over the drama dome community, I I I remember hearing that she had left YouTube because of the trolls. That's what I heard back then. And later on, she came back, doing live streams. But she was out for about a couple of months, and then she came back to do live streams. No, no, that's well, yeah, a little bit of drama here, but no, we don't do drama here. No, I was just telling us. I was just gonna tell a story about a ghost, about a ghost that's kind of familiar story that I heard yesterday. That kind of spooked me up. Yeah, yeah, that's right, Gary. Yeah, she's still there. Yeah, yeah. Well, it happened to this truck driver in Sonora, Mexico. One time he was about to go out, and the supervisor told him, "Watch out if you when you reach this certain bridge, and do not look at the cross you're gonna see there. Just don't look at it, okay?" And I and he came to the bridge, and a big mistake of seeing the cross and looking at the cross. And in that cross, somebody had died years ago. They put in Mexico. When somebody dies uh, on a road, they usually put like a little bit, like a mini memorial. Like, an uncle of mine has one because I think this was in '69 or '70. Uh, he was killed by a car while he was trying to fix his car, killed by a car. So the thing is, this happened in the state of Sonora, and this happened on a bridge. Very interesting story. Happened on a bridge because back then, I think in 2003, a bus that was coming from Sinaloa all the way to Mexicali um, crashed and and fell off the bus crashed. Boom, and fell off the bridge. He gone. Yeah, I got it first. Yeah, yeah. So so the thing is, the um, in 2003, this bus that was traveling from Sinaloa to Mexicali, crashed in this a bridge, and the bus, went down, and it went down into a river. And in that bus crash, the mom of a friend of mine was killed there in that crash, and his mom was also my dad's goddaughter. Mm. So I said to myself, could that be the same one? The same one on people, the same story? No, I mean, same, but I don't know really if it's not the same or that the same story about the woman um, that appears on that bridge. You know, the same if it's not the same bridge where my where my friend's mom died. That was in 2013 in 2003. Yeah. Yes, that's what it was. Those stories about ghosts. Well, let me tell you another story that's really gonna make you guys have goosebumps. Have goosebumps. I already told this story, but I'll tell it again. Years and years ago, back in the late 20s. Hey, hi, Doodle Brown. How are you? Thanks for dropping by. There was this young girl in her late teens and early 20s. She falls in love with this other boy who is not from her class. He is from he's more working class, and the girl's from a very wealthy family at the time. At the time, the girl falls in love with this boy, and the father finds out and says, "No, you can't marry this guy. No, no, he's a bum. No." The young girl got so got so upset and made her so depressed that she went inside her room and wrote a diary and wrote this, I don't know, a will, or I don't know what you call it, but she wrote something that said that life said something about how life was painful and that she loved this certain boy, that she wanted to marry him, and told her, and she said that she was gonna die, but I will come back. I will come back someday. I will come back. The parents later on were very suspicious. As days went by, they knew the girl wasn't coming out, and yeah. So, oh, thank you, Doodle. So the girl, didn't come out of it, didn't keep come out of her room, and the parents were very suspicious of what had happened. So, you know, they broke the door because the door was locked, and they saw the girl very weak and pale and sick. The parents, they didn't know what to do, like that, blah, blah, blah. So, so they called the doctor to come and look at her, and the girl was very, very ill because she hadn't eaten or even drank water for days. Had a drink of water. Even had a drink of water. As she was dying, the father told him, "Tell me, what do you want? Anything? Please tell me. I am sorry for what I did, Dad. I want to marry the man that I love. I want to marry him. That's all I want, Dad. Please. I want to marry the man that I love so much." And the father said, "No, no, dear, you can't. You cannot. Like I said, you cannot marry him. You cannot marry him." And the girl died in her dad's arm. She was later on buried in the cemetery called Puerta Blanca White Door Cemetery, which is cemetery number one, located in the city of Tijuana, Mexico, which is also my hometown. Okay, we'll about that sometime later in another broadcast. Uh, she was buried there, in that cemetery. Years went by, around like in the early 1950s. A young man was, was coming home from the movies, got off the city bus to go home. As he was walking, she saw this this she saw this girl coming towards him, who looked very pale, very lonely, very, and asked her, Can you take me home? I'm, it's dark. Yeah, sure, I'll walk you home because it was dark and it was really dark. Okay, sure. And where do you live? Just um, follow me. Okay, I'll leave. Follow. And then when they reach, and then her home was the cemetery, the graveyard. So as when they got to the cemetery, he noticed something really strange. That the girl's hands went right through the gate, like nothing happened. And as he looked at that, the young man freaked out, and he says, "Oh no, man, this is too much for me, man. He got scared, but the woman, the young ghost, didn't want to let him go. So he says, "Let me go, let me go, let me go." And the guy, just he just passed out because he was so scared. The next day when he woke up, he noticed there was people looking at him. They thought it was just some drunk who passed out, you know, some wino. But no, 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 no. He later on told the story to his cousin and to his cousin and his wife of what had happened. What had happened about the dead girl? The dead girl about the dead girl appearing to him. So the young man, who was not from Tijuana, he freaked out so much that he left town and never came back. Never came back to town. So scared. So around the same time, also, a cab driver was working the night shift. He was going around Revolution Avenue. This is the 1950s. At that time, the that avenue was a haven for American kids at night partying and American servicemen, like sailors and Marines, would go down there and party, that. And this so-called cab driver um, was one time, standing, and he was just acting kind of grouchy one day. Oh, man, I don't know if it's man, I don't know if I'm gonna do very well tonight or something. And then he notices this young woman who approaches him and tells him, "Can you take me home?" "Sure. Where do you live?" Get on the cab." "I'll tell you. You just drive. You just drive." "Okay." And they stopped at the cemetery, Puerta Blanca. They stopped there. The 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 cab driver said to her, "Well, I'm gonna, you know, it's very cold right now. You know, look at take I'm gonna give you my jacket. I have another spare one here, okay? take this one and next time when you come in, you use the guy. Just give him, give him like a no, 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 no. You go to my house. Just go to Fifth Avenue, go to downtown Fifth Avenue, and no, 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 Fifth Street, not Fifth Avenue, and go to this address. That's where I live, and knock the door, and then go there, and I will give you your jacket. Okay, sure, I'll go there tomorrow. Cab driver. The next day, he wakes up and decides to drive over there to where the father lives, at Fifth Street. He knocks on the door and tells and this very elderly man answers the door. Says, "Yes, can I help you, sir? Last night on my cab route, some young woman uh, came here. Got on my cab, and I loaned her my jacket. And she said that she lives here, and she was going to give me back my jacket." The woman said, "Hey, wait a minute. What are you talking about? There's no one here. Only me and my wife live here in this house. There's no young woman here, sir. Sir, I'm telling you. This is where she told me. She gave me this address, and this is the address. This is where she said that she lives. Look, son, are you trying to play the joke? Are you trying to play the joke? There's no one here. Just me and my wife live in this house." And then he goes in, and then as he's looking over, he sees an old picture, and it's the picture of the dead woman who asked him for the ride. Dead woman. What the hell? Hey, sir, who is that? The young man told the other man. Well, okay, that's a daughter of mine, Enriqueta. She's been dead for more than 20 years now. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. But she's the one that. But actually, she looks exactly like the one who uh, who who got in my cab last night. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, I'll tell you the story, son. Last night, you saw somebody. Yes, you saw my daughter Enriqueta. She died many years ago, right here, right over there in her room. And her death has been, you know, horrible for me and my wife. And we haven't, and we keep up a shrine over there, as you can see. And there's her photo. And the cab driver saw the photo and said, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." And she said, "Well, what the hell?" So he goes back to the cemetery. So okay. So he goes back to the cemetery, and he goes to and he tells the cemetery caretaker, "Can I? Do you know where?" And we get there. He was very sure. Walk over there, and you're gonna see her plaque. Okay. He goes there, and guess what? The jacket was right there. Was right in her grave. Not in her grave, but it was right in the plaque that said that indicated her grave was there. And the poor guy, a cab driver, freaked out so bad. He couldn't even move. Then he quit his job, and the psychiatrist told him not to go out at night. Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Fifth Avenue, yes, Fifth Avenue, Fifth Street. Yeah. So that's the story. Yeah, yeah. That's the story, the ghost story. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that story in 1952 made the newspapers actually. When the about when the young man who encountered Enriqueta's ghost, it made the newspaper stories in 1952. So it had been 23 years since the death of Enriqueta. Yeah. 23 years, yeah. Yeah, and in those days, houses were, the rich people's houses were right near downtown. Right near where all the business district is. Yeah. Yes, I know. A lot of these stories are very ac- there's this other one too from that town. Once upon a time there were these two gamblers, one a Mexican and one an American. They were they they play everything, cards, whatever they can gamble. Boom, boom. So one day they heard a story about a horse that was going to run a race. They heard it was going to hurt. They heard and they heard the horse was odds were like the odds were going to win. So one day, right before the horse race started, they paid a visit to the trader of the horse, and the trader told them, yes, you guys can you guys can bet here over here, and the money is you know yeah, yeah. So the two men decided to visit the horse trainer, and the trader told them, hey, this horse is going to win. You guys can you know you can bet all the money you guys want, but this horse is going to win. Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah. So they went to the racetrack. They bought the tickets to make the bet. They bought the ticket. The horse won, and the American man said, "Well, I gotta go home to the U.S. Okay, and you he said, gotta go home to the U.S." He decided before the race, right after the race ended, he says, "I don't feel good. I'm gonna leave." Okay, 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 okay. I'll take I'll get on the bus and I'll take you to the border so you can go home. Okay. They boarded a bus right after the race happened, and their horse had won. Mhm. They boarded a bus to the border. Mhm. The American man had the ticket, the winning ticket, on his coat, on his coat. So as they were reaching the border, the uh, the American man suddenly collapsed and died of a massive heart attack. His friend, the Mexican, noticed nobody was looking, went inside the guy's coat and grabbed the winning ticket and went over to cash the ticket. Yeah, went over to cash the ticket. Yeah. Went over to cash the ticket. Yeah, and the man was never seen ever again. But what had happened? He ran away with the money and it was never to be seen ever again. So years later, in that same bus route that took the border, this young lady reported going inside a bus, going inside a bus, sitting in the back seat. She noticed it was this man with a fedora hat and smoking a cigar. And he said, and as he smoked, he noticed something really strange. He started smoking, and when the smoke got into his eyes, and later he noticed something that mm, so the man took the ticket. He was never to be seen again. Years later, a woman goes gets one of those buses. She goes to the rear back seat. She goes over there. Yeah, that's one of the stories about. Yeah. Well, guys, I'm gonna go to bed right now because my eyes are not letting me stay awake. Okay, but tomorrow, I'm gonna tell more. I'm gonna a couple of more stories. I'm gonna tell. Yeah, but thanks for coming and good night, everybody.